show presents something, and it's a fascinating subject. If you have ever had to deal with a sociopath, okay, now I don't know if you, I didn't know, I always conflated sociopaths with psychopaths. Maybe you can, but sociopaths, again, probably the one, two, three, they're a narcissist, they want to use you, and the rules don't apply to them. All about them, they want to use you, rules don't apply to them. They're above it all. And they are completely oblivious as to what jerk they are. And and you don't know you've got one until it's like stage 3. It's like finding a lump and oh my God. 1-800-848-9222. If you have any experience like that, tell us. Because you know what? This is one of those things too. If you do hear it from somebody else, you might be like, oh my God, thank God I heard that person described, because this is that person at work, or this is that person down at the thing. All right, we'll give him a shot. So let's go to line 2 in the Bronx. Matt, so there's been some Jewish people dying in Israel. You're a happy guy.
Well, before we get to the Middle East situation, I just want
the
to
truth
comment
about
on
your
the last caller.
anti-Semitism. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to comment on the last caller. Well, she said, she gave some very good advice that you just simply stay away from a sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
But the unfortunate thing is that oftentimes it's very hard to do that. If you remember Ted Bundy,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, he actually was. He wasn't just a sociopath, but he also had a JD degree. He was active in Republican Party politics.
Was he a Jew? Was Ted Bundy Jewish? Oh, I bet you.
I don't think so.
Oh,
but,
sorry. I'm sorry he wasn't Jewish. It would have been legitimate hate on your part. Go ahead, Matt.
But Ted Bundy was actually very, very amiable. He was very socially connected. So it's not that sociopaths are that easy to get away from. They can be very well established within society. They often are.
My experience with my sociopath was that I figure it occurred to me when they were sort of exposed, their behavior kind of came around, and I was made aware of what they were up to by somebody that they had used me to get to. So in other words, this guy was looking to make some money. He was looking to sell people something. And he used me to get to this group of people. And all of a sudden, I got an innocent phone call from somebody saying, hey, remember that guy that you introduced me to? And yeah, well, he's been hitting me up for XYZ. And he hit up the whole such and such department at such and such major corporation. And I said, you're kidding me. And boom. And that was the moment that I was able to realize what was cooking. And I think the one thing about them, though, is they don't have such a lack of self-awareness that they don't know what they're up to. They just don't think it's wrong. And I think that when they realize that the jig is up, they just move on. And I think in some cases, once you carve them out, they're so self-absorbed. They're like, okay, whatever, I'm moving on anyway. So Israel, Iran, Jewish people hiding from missiles makes Matt a happy boy. I am just totally poking you now. Every time you call, I'm just going to poke you, Matt.
Okay, good to know that I'm the new pinata on.
Yeah. You deserve it. You're
all right. So with regard to what's going on in the Mideast,
we should have everything you say. We should have everything you say translated. I should get a German guy to do either Goebbels or Hitler, translate in real time, translating what you say underneath your, we should figure that out. That would be funny. With like a scratchy, make it sound like a recording from 1939, like, like that, with like a scratch. That's a newspaper. That's a New York Post. Could do that underneath. Let's try that. You just go ahead and talk your whatever stuff.
Well, I'd like to be able to have a serious conversation, not facetious conversation.
Okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna. Okay, yes. It was a good idea. It is funny. But yes, I'll engage you for another 60 seconds about whatever you want to talk about.
Okay. So with regard to the Middle East, I think it's a wise idea that no state in that region possesses nuclear weapons and or biological chemical weapons. But the problem is the only reason why states like Iran, Libya, Iraq before them want a nuclear arsenal is to countervail the arsenal possessed by Israel. Israel already has nuclear weapons. They don't have a declared arsenal. But imagine the situation of the United States versus the Soviet Union during the Cold War. If the Soviets had nuclear weapons and we had nothing to countervail them with, and that's a situation that a lot of Muslim states have in the Middle East right now with regard to Israel. Israel has an active nuclear weapons arsenal, which, by the way, is a contravention of U.S. law.
Oh, that felt so good. Bye, Matt. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-WABC. 247. We're going to take a quick break. We come back. We got Bobby, we got Bernie, we got Jay. Bobby, Bernie, Jay. I'm TJ McCormick. TJ McCormick Show. Be right back.
Now, the latest from the 77 WABC Newsroom.
Celebrating. I knew this would happen, and it's happened.
Greg Kelly, midday host here on 77 WABC, had his wish come true. No, a genie didn't pop out of a bottle. He didn't blow out candles on a birthday cake. Greg didn't see a shooting star. No, Greg looked down at his iPhone, and this happened.
Elon Musk, the most successful, richest man, well, second most successful behind Trump, richest man in the world, just re-X'd me, retweeted me.
Greg went down to Washington, D.C. to interview the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, and during the interview, Vance mentioned Elon Musk.
And you see me, and you see Greg Kelly, and it's very, very nice. So at Greg Kelly USA, if you want to see what all the buzz is about that I'm generating. Well, actually, no, he generated it. Let me see. He's got like 100 million followers on X. And he tweets something, and 30 seconds later, it's been multiplied by like 100,000 times.
And you know what that means?
It probably means, you know what this means, right? Pretty soon he's going to reach out again. He's going to want to do a new business venture with me. He's going to want to invest a lot of money in everything that I'm doing. And right, we're going to be friends, and we're going to be partners, and probably I'm going to have it right. It's just a really nice gesture.
So keep dreaming, Greg, because just like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, dreams really do come true.
Retweeted me. This guy knows I exist. How about that? How about that?
Lisa G, 77 WABC News.
It's the TJ McCormack Show, keeping you company overnight. 77 WABC.
I really think we have the best bumper music. I really think Bill and I have got something cooking here. Certainly the best in the morning. Certainly the best anywhere on the radio you're going to hear right now. Good morning, all. 1-800. 848-9222, 1-800-848-WABC. I'm TJ McCormick here on the Gold Standard, the big number one, 77 WABC, at TJ McCormick on Twitter, X. I would love to I love that bumper music. But we have many people on the phones, and so let's go. And so in a few minutes, we're going to continue to recap a little bit of what happened today. In the next hour, we're going to talk about what the Mets did. What did the Mets do? How did the New York Mets celebrate Flag Day at Citi Field? Okay, we'll talk about that, and we'll also do take a little look at the winners and losers in Iran, or the losers in Iran. We'll give you the Rogues Gallery. In what I'd like to think would be maybe a somewhat entertaining way. We'll tell you who the Mossad took out in Iran and how they did it. We'll touch on that in the second hour. And third hour at 4 a.m., we're going to be joined by Freddie Rubino. Fred Rubino's coming back, and we're going to bring it all the way right up to Lizzie Radavali in the 5 a.m. news hour here on a Sunday morning on 77 WABC. Let's go over to, let me see who's been waiting. All right, Jay in Queens. Hello, good morning.
Whoa. Good morning, TJ.
Hello.
I want to thank you because you give me a couple of more seconds than Lionel gives me. I call him a lot, and he likes my phone call.
Good.
Because I have a sense of humor.
You do. I enjoy your instincts, Jay. You are a pleasant man to talk to.
Thank you. The afterlife.
Yes.
It's the greatest mystery in the world, because no one has ever been able to come down from up there. See, not down there. Up there. Down there, there's nothing.
Right.
The ants are gonna eat you up.
Is this like your joke? Was this like your Joan Rivers joke the other night? Was that you? Did you give me the Joan Rivers joke the other night?
Well, I talked to her 15 years ago.
Right, and you had the joke about the hair down there. You got another.
That's right, but I was honest.
Okay, so you had the ants down there in the ground.
No, the ants, forget about them. The ants are going to eat you up down there.
Right.
But up there, they haven't come down yet to tell you that it's the greatest life in the world, if there is a life up there. There is a spirit. There's definitely a spirit where you can travel.
Yeah.
You can travel anywhere you want.
Right.
Go into anybody's house.
Right.
And
it's like having points on a credit card. It's like having great points on Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Yeah, but
right, you have points. You have points. You go to the website and you kind of match it with some matching funds, and you get to get extra leg room on the thing. Jay, I got to run. I got a lot of people waiting. I got to jump, baby. I love you. Thank you so much for calling. Okay, baby. All right. Don't you be shy, AJ. I know you won't be. Bobby in Brooklyn about the military parade. Good morning, Pally.
Hey, DJ, how's it going, buddy?
All right, baby. All right. Kisach.
I wanted to do a thing and make a movie where all the bugs and animals spoke English, and the little ant said to the monkey, "Give me that banana. I can eat for 2 months with that thing." And the elephant said, "Get out of my way, or I'll step on you." The ant said, "Don't you dare! I'll get between your toes and bite you." So anyway,
that's great. That's a treat.
And all the other things you could make out of that.
Oh, you're funny.
But anyway, let's go to this here.
Yeah.
How much, the Ayatollah said today, anybody helping Israel is going to be held responsible.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Let them try. With what they got left?
I'm a wounded warrior, and I love the parade, and I loved everything. But what kind of intelligence do they get out of a move like that? How many units? How big the units? Name tags, unit tags on the shoulders.
Oh, wait, you mean the parade? You mean the parade?
Yeah.
What, man, that was like, I mean, I don't know nothing from nothing, but that was like a tiny smack. I mean, what, are you counting the fife and drum corps? I mean, they
use everything to go looking for down. They also where everything is and everybody.
Bobby, they also know how many trombones we got. There were bands in the parade too.
Well, let's not give them any more though. And they also have the virus 19 that they spread, shaking hands and this. They have things today that they could spray aerosols from rooftops.
Maybe if they're stupid enough, they were looking at our tribute units, and some of them said, and they were like, let's see, let me take one of these names. Hussein Salmani. We have discovered that the Americans we wear little knee-high pants now. Maybe we get some sort of technology to shoot them in the kneecaps because they have shoes with buckles.
What if they had drones in the apartments that they're putting together, open the window, let them fly out and drop all kinds of stuff on without us knowing what we're getting hit with? They could have destroyed everybody in a day.
Bobby, you know what? It's a crazy enough world. You know, I mean,
I'm only giving the other side. I'm not saying I don't. I'm only, helping along. I love the parade. I love Trump. I love the whole thing. I'm not knocking him at all.
No, I know. But you're like, hey, look.
I invented the round hot dog shaped like a hamburger patty. It don't roll off the grill. I invented the V-hole for military vehicles. They rushed up to the front about 8 years ago, and some guy just patented it last year.
Bob, you got to patent that stuff when you got the idea. Hey, listen, I got to jump, right? But don't.
One last thing, PJ. I invented a new rail system for the United States, a brand new train. I'm trying to get a hold of Musk. I don't have a computer or nothing, but anyway, it's a fantastic. It don't run on two rails.
Put them on X. Go find them on X. Thank you, buddy. All right, let's get over. We got just a few minutes left. Oh, you know what? Donna called about narcissism. Donna, yes.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to, I'll be fast, but I have two brothers that are complete, like, narcissistic sociopaths.
So they're like, they're clinically, and wow, two brothers. So now does their behavior, like, are they still in with the family, or has the family had to distance themselves?
They were always abusive to me, and then my father died, and then my mother passed away 10 years ago, and she unfortunately, she left him with the whole estate, and he swindled, he was the executor and the power of attorney and everything, and he swindled me out of my inheritance by stealing the house and putting it into foreclosure and selling it off. It's a long story.
And water off a duck. It didn't matter to him. He didn't care. He didn't care what.
No, they're like gaslighting me, like saying like I ruined their lives and all this nonsense.
And Donna, so it's two brothers that do that?
Yeah, they both teamed up against me, probably because they want to split it,
I'm sorry.
They only care about money, so,
And they were able to kind of fool your mom and dad until they didn't have to anymore.
Well, no, when my mother died, she left him as the executor.
Well, that's what I mean.
Will.
That's what I mean. I mean, did she know that he was like this, or did he keep his jerk?
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, I honestly didn't even. I couldn't even I didn't even realize that he would do something crazy like this.
You know what? That's when you realize you're dealing with true mental, like a psychosis, because when you're like, you could not believe they possess the ability, right? Donna, thanks for chiming in with that. It is a scary thing. All right, gang, that's an hour. I can't believe the first hour has gone by. When we come back in the second hour, I want Pete and Bernie to stay there. We'll get to you guys. We'll get to you. When we come back in the second hour, we're going to talk a little bit more about what happened on Saturday. We're also going to talk about Israel, who they took out and how they took them out. Stay there. We've got some great stuff coming up in the 3 a.m. hour. My name is TJ McCormick. This is 77 WABC.
Is New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk radio. WABC New York, WRCR Haverstraw, and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. News first at 59 past the hour. 77 WABC News starts now.
77 WABC News, 60 and cloudy this Sunday, June 15th. Happy Father's Day. Good morning. I'm Liz Randavali. Minnesota Democratic State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband are dead after a shooting this weekend. Governor Tim Walz made the announcement during a news conference on Saturday, calling it a politically motivated shooting. Democratic State Senator Jeff Hoffman, along with his wife, were also shot multiple times in a separate shooting. Both are out of surgery. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension says police exchanged gunfire with one suspect at the scene of one of the shootings, who is still at large at this time. Officials say at least one suspect impersonated law enforcement. Shootings took place just outside of Minneapolis. Friday night into Saturday morning, explosions were heard in Israel as Iran responded to an earlier preemptive strike. Israel launched a strike on Thursday night on Iran's military and nuclear sites. Iran responded with strikes that mostly were thwarted, but some missiles did get past the Iron Dome missile defense. Israeli police spokesperson Dean Elston spoke about the effort underway in Tel Aviv.
We're all here making sure that we can secure this scene and also find those that were impacted by tonight's terror attack directly on their residential house.
Officials in Tehran say it's meaningless to continue talks with the United States over Iran's nuclear program. Another round of talks between the U.S. and Iran were supposed to be happening today in Oman, but now Iran's foreign ministry is saying you cannot claim to negotiate and at the same time allow Israel to target Iran's territory. The United States is divided on President Donald Trump's response to protests over ICE enforcement. Mark Mayfield has more.
According to a recently released Reuters Ipsos poll, 48% of Americans surveyed said they agreed that the president should deploy the military to bring order to the streets when the demonstrations become violent, while 41% of respondents did not agree with the statement. Poll findings were also along party lines, as GOP respondents were more supportive of having troops assist with containing protests, while Democrats were strongly against it. The survey was conducted after President Trump mobilized National Guardsmen and Marines in Los Angeles, where massive protests erupted over his administration's latest efforts to crack down on immigration. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Over at the box office, How to Train Your Dragon is soaring to a fast start. The live-action remake expected to take first place from another live-action remake, Lilo and Stitch. And now your forecast today, it's cloudy with a high of 69. More clouds later on tonight, low of 61. I'm Liz Radbali. Remember, news never stops. WABCRadio.com.
The best thing about Music Radio 77 WABC is you. You listen to Vinny Madunio every Saturday at 5 p.m. Followed by Cousin Brucey's Saturday Night Rock and Roll Party. Then at 10, it's Saturday Nights with Tony Orlando. And on Sunday, it's full of us Sundays with Sinatra. With your host, Joe Piscopo. This is 77 WABC Newsroom Extra.
The NYPD has started going after cyclists and e-bike riders who don't follow traffic rules, slapping them with tickets that force them to appear before a judge. Riders like this one, who blew through a red light, shocked to see the criminal summit.
He handed me what I assumed was going to be a ticket, and then it turned out to be a criminal court summons, which was shocking to me.
Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch disagrees. She says the crackdown comes after way too many complaints of cyclists and e-bike riders riding on sidewalks, going against traffic. Charlie Baker, a spokesperson for Transportation Alternatives, says the move by City Hall is an obscene escalation from the NYPD.
This crackdown is very dangerous because it's putting New Yorkers at risk of arrest, jail, and deportation for riding a bike.
No word yet on how many of these new tickets have been handed out. Noam Layton, WABC News.
This is the TJ McCormack Show.
Political humorist TJ McCormack.
Entertaining and informative. Keeping you company overnight. 77 WABC.
Good morning, everyone. How you doing? The morning crew, the morning family, the late night, early morning bunch. That's us. Right here on 77 WABC. I love keeping you company. This is the best time to be doing it. The best time to be doing it. And my name is TJ McCormick. This is TJ McCormick Show. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-WABC. At TJ McCormick. Go find me on Twitter. And Yeah, so yesterday was interesting. Saturday was just chock full of crazy news from all over the place. It was Flag Day. In addition to the military parade, we talked about that a little bit. We're going to talk to Pete in a second and Bernie, and there was really profound stuff happening in Minneapolis. I mean, Minnesota. You know, in the state we had murder and assault, gun violence with this crazy guy. Still haven't gotten him. He's still at large. That gunman. Wonder if they get him alive. I wonder. Doesn't he sound like one of them that's just going to be like the body of has been found, and it's going to be like, well, all right, charge up the conspiracy theory bus on that one. We'll see. We'll see if they get him alive. Yeah. So anyway, so now so it was Flag Day, and the New York Mets, what they decided to do.
Meet the Mets. Meet the Mets.
Yeah.
Step right up and greet the Mets.
Step right up, y'all.
Bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life.
It's Flag Day with an L. Flag Day at Citi Field. Yes. It's Bill really caught me with that one. You're great, Bill. It was Flag Day as I recalibrate my brain here. And Shea Stadium, God. Citi Field, for the singing of the national anthem, they featured on the, do we still say Jumbotron? On the big screen in center field, not the American flag, the pride flag. The pride flag, and it was like the really busy pride flag with like the black lines in it and the other lines in it, and it was like a pointy arrow. I don't even know. There's supposedly like several iterations of the pride flag now. But they flew that. They featured that fluttering with great panache. On the center field screen, that was the flag that everyone stood and put their hand over their heart and sang the national anthem. Fabulously. They sang the national anthem, but it was the pride flag that was flying. Does that do a disservice to the gay community? Does that, I'm not going to go with does it besmirch the tradition? Is that anti-American? Is it un-American? You know, no, I think it's very American to be inclusive, okay? Because that's who we are organically. It's the forcing of stuff. It's the shoving it down your throat stuff. It's the, you're going to make me buy into the fantasy that you used to be a guy and now you're a woman. I'm not going to buy into that. That's not inclusivity. That's like just forced stupidity. But I think organically America is inclusive. Organically America is welcoming. Organically America is do it right and do whatever you want. Do it right and don't make me have to buy into your goofiness. But did that do more of a disservice to the pride? Forget the gay community. I'm sorry, not the gay community. Pride movement. I'm not gonna foul my gay friends and my sisters and brothers in humanity who happen to love people of the same sex. I'm not about to besmirch them and their fabulousness with the, there's all of this silly stuff. This is about the pride movement. When a bunch of Americans stand up, put their hands on their hearts, remove their caps, and sing the national anthem, and they look up, and it's a fluttering rainbow flag, and not the United States of America, not our flag, on Flag Day with an L. That's when they decided to do it. 1-800-848-9222. Who looks bad? The pride movement or TJ complaining about it? 1-800-848-9222. Bernie's been waiting forever. Bernie on line 3. Good morning, buddy. Sorry to keep you hanging in there.
Good morning, Mr. McCormick. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You had a person named Matt on, the anti-Semite.
Adolf.
Matt will be happy to learn that many of the movie stars he knows, if he's old enough, he knows are actually Jewish. For example, Isidore Dembski, when he went to Hollywood, they changed his name to Kirk Douglas.
Yeah, quiz me. Give me some of these names. I'm going to see if I guess who they are. Go ahead.
Okay, Bernie Schwartz, who is he?
Wait, don't say it. I know it. Tony Curtis.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yes. Here's one for you.
Go ahead. Yeah, Bill, hold on a minute, Bernie. Hold on. We're doing a show. Bill, is there any Jewish music? No. Do you have any Jewish music? Do we have the, I was going to say the Tarantella. Wrong group. Do we have the Hava Nagila? No? How do you spell that? Hava? I don't know. H-A-V-A. Go ahead, Bernie. Keep going. If we find some Jewish soul music, we'll play it.
You know these names.
Go ahead.
Emanuel Rosenberg. Movie name.
Hold on. Emanuel Rosenberg. If anybody wants to call in, if they want. I know this one too, because I do know this. I'm not going to keep everybody waiting. Go ahead, Bernie. Who is it?
Edward G. Robinson.
Edward G. Robinson. That's right. Isn't that funny? He played one of the bad Egyptians, right? Didn't he play one of the Pharaohs guys? Nah, take your people.
He did in Ten Commandments.
Yeah, in the Ten Commandments.
One of the Pharaoh's guys.
Right.
But the best one is the woman who was born in Manhattan. Her family's name was Peretz. When she became a big movie star, she went to Israel and met her cousin, who was Peretz also. He was the prime minister of Israel. They got together.
Shimon Peretz.
Shimon Peretz. What was her name? She took her mother's name. Her mother's name was Jewish. Backel. She added an L. Bacall.
Lauren Bacall.
Lauren Bacall.
I gotta say, Lauren Bacall is the most shiksa-looking Jewish woman I have ever. That woman. First of all, she's a stunner. What a stunner, right? Oh my gosh, was she beautiful? And you know what? The one that I know that always gets people is who's the famous guy? His real name is Ralph Lifshitz.
Ralph Lifshitz, I don't.
Ralph Lifshitz is
what's it? Tony Randall, maybe?
Nope, not Tony Randall. I think his name is Sidney Rosenberg. I want to say Tony Randall's name is Sidney Rosenberg.
Oh, that's it.
I think. But wait, Ralph Lifshitz is Ralph Lauren, the designer.
Yeah.
From the Bronx. He grew up with Mel Brooks and what was Mel Brooks's buddy's name? The director, Carl Reiner. He went to school. He grew up in the same neighborhood as Carl Reiner in the Bronx. Ralph Lifshitz, Ralph Lauren.
And Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks were writers also for Sid Caesar.
Yep, your show of shows.
Remember correct.
How about that writer's room? You know who else was on that writer's staff, Bernie?
Oh, I know.
Neil Simon.
Woody Allen.
Neil Simon.
Neil Simon.
Can you imagine trying to
remember Neil Simon?
Bernie, can you imagine trying to pitch comedy? I'm a comedy writer myself. Can you imagine trying to pitch a joke in that writer's room? Can you imagine getting? You know? Oh my God, Bernie, this is one of my favorite calls ever. Thank you so much for chiming in, buddy boy. Well
remember, I told you about the movie. It said Gentleman's Agreement with Gregory Peck. He's a Christian pretending he was Jewish.
Yes, I gotta watch it. I promise I'm gonna watch it. Maybe I'll even do it tomorrow as I relax on Father's Day. God bless you, Bernie.
Very famous movie.
Thank you, Bernie. Zeigazund. I love you. Thank you for calling, Pally. Oh, that was fun. That was nice. Having a shout over Bernie. Bernie, you know who the other Jew is? Here's another Jew. Yay! Meanwhile, up in the Bronx, Matt is sitting there going, I'm stupid, I'm student, famous student, I'm fighting lady. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848, I slipped into Jerry Lewis there. Pete on Staten Island, good morning, brother. Thanks for hanging in there. We're getting silly here at 3:16 in the AM. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing fine. I watched the whole parade from start to finish on my 100-inch television set with my wife.
Nice.
And you know, everybody says $45 million. The sponsors and everything are paying for that. And they're lucky if it's going to be $25 million.
You know what, Pete? I caught that too at the end when the announcer said, "Thank you to all of our sponsors." I stopped and went, "Hey, wait a minute, what people? They got sponsors here. $45 million. You're right. They did that in the back of the envelope."
Right, exactly. I mean, this was brilliant. And the whole thing, tribute to the troops, you know, every country celebrates when they win a war. We don't. We just go and we build the other countries. The country that we were bombing, we build them back up to, because it's humanity. This is what it's all about. War, there's nothing fair in war. War is war. You know, there's no peaceful thing to do. And this president who, when I, first started following him, they thought he was going to be a warmonger. This guy does everything to prevent wars.
Yeah.
I mean, we should be proud of him. And all these people, these woke people, or whatever you want to call them, they should go out and get jobs, work. They block traffic of working people. They try to get to their jobs, so they lose their job. I mean, it's pathetic. We got to start thinking about our fellow man a little bit and give it a break. I mean, I had a close to death experience with my kidney cancer from 9/11 and everything else. And how I broke my shoulder on top of that.
Right, I remember, yeah.
No, this is my right shoulder. But on your show, there was a guy called in that was in a nursing home, and he was at 5 months. And I said, 5 months? I'm only battling this a month. My God, how much better off I am. You got to start thinking of what you have and not what you don't have, and you'll never be disappointed.
Exactly. You got to make a grateful list every day. Thanks, Pete. Thanks for calling in, buddy boy. I appreciate that. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-WABC. We're going to be talking in just a minute about Israel, Iran. You know, I heard a fascinating analysis of the of what they pulled off in Iran. A really interesting analysis. And what this guy said was on TV earlier, midday yesterday, Saturday afternoon. And this guy was talking about how Mossad, they were on the ground in Iran, all right? Intelligence agents, it seems, I'm just checking out the post here. What did the post tell us? Said that they started infiltrating the heart of Iran several months back in order to pull off the surprise attack. And the agency planted explosive drones inside Iran ahead of time as they laid the groundwork for the major strikes, and they managed to smuggle precision weapons into central Iran. As I said yesterday, you ever try to sneak up and get a better seat at Yankee Stadium? Or you're on the plane and you see an empty extra leg room, or God, I mean, good luck. You hear these crazy success stories, 1 in a million, where somebody's able to pull a seat in the business class. I mean, it never happened. These guys walked into Iran, the Mossad, and they smuggled in precision weapons into central Iran so that Israel could target Tehran's defenses from within Iran. And the fascinating thing I heard today was this one guy said, "I bet you." He said, "Remember that women's revolution that started to spark up a little bit a few years ago in Iran? I love women. I love strong women. I love revolutionary women. I don't love lefty women. I love progressive, strong, conservative women who want to blaze a trail for themselves. Okay? I love my wife like that. My daughters, I know, are going to be like that." Anyway, there was what they called, was it the hijab revolution? No, it wasn't a hijab. It was the something else. It was the something else revolution. It was this movement, and Iran did a pretty damn good job of squashing it. But these women were out there, and they were like burning their hijabs, those headscarves. And there are a few groups in the Middle East and in that region that there are a few groups that are as bold and strong and just ready to burst as women, as educated women. And Iran, Persian women, kaboom. And literally, this guy today on TV, he was like, don't discount the notion that there were women on the ground in Iran that were playing a part in helping the Mossad lay this groundwork for this incredible hit. How cool is that? And yet, you know what's just sends shivers, right? So I know a couple of very cool women. I'm gonna do everything I can to like make this as unidentifiable as possible. Or I'll just say, I know a Persian woman. Okay, there you go. They can't narrow it down, even if they're listening. And I was hoping to have a conversation on the radio tonight about that. It's a very cool Persian woman that I know. And in discussing the possibilities of joining me on the air to discuss that analysis of this hit, before I even made the ask, I stopped short of making the ask to come on because I realized she still can't. She has family, and they would be in danger. How's that? They would be in danger because they know where they are. And if the regime, the mullahs, they know her and they know her family. Very, very scary. So while it's a fascinating notion, and one day, wouldn't it be great to, down the road to have a woman identify herself, the Rosie the Riveter of this great Operation Rising Lion. Oh, well done. Operation Rising Lion is what the Mossad called that baby. And they did some damage, boy. They did it, didn't they? 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-WABC. It was a great 24 hours for Israel, that's for sure. They did what they had to do, and they're going to keep doing it. And so let's see. So we got coming up, got a couple of calls we're going to get to right now. And in just a couple of minutes, we're going to tell you exactly who was on the dirty end of that stick, who got rubbed out by the Mossad in Iran. We're going to give you that rogues gallery. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Father's Day. We're going to talk about all things dad. I want to do that for sure. And then we're going to bring us up to the 4 o'clock hour when we've got Fred Rubino coming in. And Fred's a dad too. And so he's talked about his wife, his daughter. We'll talk about that. And yeah, for sure. Let's see. David in Pennsylvania. Dave's been hanging in there for a little bit. Thank you. Hi, pal. Thanks for hanging on.
Hi, TJ.
Good morning.
Hey, you might need some help. I am an eco-environmental ecologist, and you can be a very good psychologist. Donna, the last 2 calls, well, Donna's before that, to close out the 2 o'clock hour, she mentioned she could be a woman from Iran with her 2 narcissist, antisocial brothers who took all her money or took a good part of it.
Yeah.
I feel for her.
Me too.
And I have a sister that way who has cut me out of all kind of wills in my family and other concerns from farming people, people in all aspects of society, not just in the United States. Yeah, I'm talking at least Canada, and gets away with it because she says, well, one time I went over my brother's and I had less than 12-ounce beers, and she said, you drink beer. You're not getting nothing off me. And she cut me out of all kind of wills. Now, I'm really not sure what Donna meant by narcissist.
Yeah.
I caught the antisocial part.
Yeah.
And
well, you know, Dave, thanks for calling. I'm grateful for the call as always. You know, again, you don't know, gang, right? Until we'll see what Steve in Manhattan has to say about this. He says he's got something to talk about personality comment. It's again, when it comes to a sociopath, you don't know until it's too late. Usually, I mean, unless you've dealt with one before, then you can smell them coming. But even then, you don't really start to sniff it until they show a little bit of that personality disorder. And you know, generally you got to kind of be around that person for at least a little bit of time before you get. Steve, good morning. Welcome to the TJ McCormick Show.
I was born with the ability to see right through people. TJ, you are the man. Your show is riveting. I'm telling you.
Oh, thank you.
It's riveting.
Oh,
it is. Let me just give it the crutch of some of it.
Okay.
People, there are people who are intelligent. You give them a task to do, they can do it. They can do it backwards. But on an emotional level, they don't have it. And that's where the problem takes place. We deal with this all the time. You notice when a guy first meets a girl, the girl meets the guy, they put on a phony personality.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Right.
They do that. When people first meet people, they put on a phony personality. I see right through these people. And that's where a lot of people get jammed up. I really noticed it first when I was a kid going to school. The teachers, I grew up in New York City, so I got to see the future. I had an unfair advantage over everybody, but it's true. I could see the teachers favoring certain students. They were favoring them, even if they were out of line, even if the teacher said turn to page 50 and they ripped the page out of the book. Oh, I don't have it in my book. But that's just putting it on an emotional level. They can't deal with reality. That's the problem a lot of people have. And they fall for all kinds of stuff. I've been calling out politicians for years. I'll give you a great story. I once called the Matt Drudge show, right? Matt goes, hey, Steve, the Republican Party's going crazy with you. They say you're going to cause Bush Jr. the election. Well, I said, listen, if they keep lying about Pat Buchanan, I'm going to tell the truth about George Bush Jr. and their family. And they couldn't believe it. They were trying to bring these guys up as these great conservatives, call them out right from day one. But getting more important things.
Yeah.
What's going on today, you have to understand this country has been totally invaded. It hasn't been the last 4 years. It's been 60 years this has been going on. It's honeycombed all over the place. The whole world is coming here. And I'm not going to be fooled by people saying the borders are closed. No, they're not. They're coming in every day in our airports, or from all over the third world, whatever way they can get in, legally, with a visa, with a tourist visa, whatever they do. They're getting in here, and they're unfortunately really doing a number on us. China is doing it too. They're flying in their airplanes in here every day. Look what they did last week, the guy trying to bring in a bacteria or something to kill our crowd. They've been doing this for years, since we opened up flights back in the 90s from China. Folks, you lost your country. Now, love.
Yeah.
TJ, I'd love to take some calls from people right now. They would go wild if they could take calls from me. Me and Curtis Lee, we used to always talk about New York City. People loved it. They would go crazy. The reason why Curtis banned me is because people would call and say, hey, Steve was right. You don't do that to a person who is an egomaniac. You don't name some, But the problem also is in New York City, it's been totally invaded. It's not the last 4 years, folks. It's the last 60 years. California, gone forever.
Oh, that's for sure. All right, brother. I got to jump. It's the bottom of the hour. Thank you for that. Okay, when we come back, we're going to get a little bit of structure here, okay? We're going to talk a little bit. We're going to talk to Patty in Mamaroneck. She's looks like she's just calling in now. We're going to talk to Patty about her experience with the Champagne Socialists, with the limousine liberals in Westchester County yesterday. She walked amongst the No King's Day protests. All right. If you want to see the video, go to X, go to Twitter, and go check out my at TJ McCormick. Go check out at TJ McCormick on Twitter. You can watch Patty's video. When we come back, we'll talk to Patty about her video. We'll talk to Mike in Carolina. We'll talk to Joaquin in Pennsylvania. And we'll talk a little bit more about Father's Day and what it's, a couple of things about dads and maybe how we, we'll ease into Fred Rubino. I think we'll keep Fred for the Father's Day commentary too. But also, I definitely want to talk real quick when we come back about that rogues gallery of bruisers that the Mossad did the world a favor when they took out the other day in Iran. 1-800-848-9222. TJ McCormick Show on 77 WABC.
It's the TJ McCormack Show, 77 WABC. Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Dominic Carter, City Hall.
Kevin Hassett, talk to me about addressing inflation. What's the right way?
Well, the wrong way we learned from Jimmy Carter and Joe Biden is to have the government spend recklessly and print money to cover the expenses. When that happens, you get inflation. Inflation really, really harms the country. And if you spend like crazy, then that's going to be a problem. What President Trump is doing is he, along with Elon Musk, have been leaders in finding the crazy things that we spend our money on and getting rid of them, and also working with Congress to have a reconciliation package, they call it, right, or a big budget deal, which is going to cut the heck out of spending, but also increase supply. So President Trump is really, really putting the pedal to the metal on supply, and he's cutting government spending as well, and that's going to get inflation under control.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform. Coming up at 5 a.m. on the 77 WABC News Hour, Weekend Edition. Talking the News with Lizzie Radabali.
Bodega cats may soon be a legal fixture in the city's corner stores as one council member pushes a bill to register the felines. It's the latest battle in the war on rats. Details on that story and much more coming up next at 5.
The 77 WABC News Hour, Weekend Edition with Lizzie Radabali. Weekend mornings at 5. 77 WABC. The best thing about Music Radio 77 WABC is you. You listen to Vinny Madunio every Saturday at 5 p.m. Followed by Cousin Brucey's Saturday Night Rock and Roll Party. Then at 10, it's Saturday Nights with Tony Orlando. And on Sunday, it's Boulevard Sundays with Sinatra. With your host, Joe Piscopo. Now, the latest from the 77 WABC newsroom.
Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman is addressing a wind project off the shore of Long Island. The Trump White House recently lifted a stop work order on Empire Wind, and Blakeman appeared on the Cast Roundtable where he spoke about the issue.
Well, I'm very much against it, John. I think it's a terrible idea. It was a project that was started by President Biden and Governor Hochul against community opposition. People on Long Island do not want these turbine windmills, and they don't want these big storage battery facilities, these lithium batteries in their communities as well. So here's how we got there. They forced through a contract with a company, I believe they're from the Netherlands, called Equinor. Equinor is a foreign company that is in the business of building these windmills. It was with the support of Hochul and Biden. Basically, it was rammed down our throats.
Blakeman says that the work stoppage being lifted was part of a larger trade-off.
And then they wanted to start what they called Empire 2, which was another project off of Long Island that would create all kinds of problems for marine life, for fishermen, for the environment. And basically, the problem is that Empire 1, the permits were already given out under the Biden administration. So President Trump wanted to cancel Empire 2, which he did, and we congratulate him for that, through Lee Zeldin, who's the administrator of the EPA. And He wanted to pause Empire 1.
You can hear more from the Cats Roundtable Sunday mornings from 8 to 10 a.m. or listen to the show anytime as a podcast on the WABC radio app. I'm Liz Radabali for 77 WABC News.
It's the TJ McCormack Show, keeping you company overnight. 77 WABC.
I just ran back in. You know that app, the Citizen app, and it gives you alerts. This is such a rush. I was like, I got an alert that there was a sexual, like a molester, was like within like 600 feet. Yeah. So we got like all of 3rd Avenue here. I got the beep. A sexual predator, like 600 feet. So I just ran downstairs, out there. It was like one dude. I punched him in the mouth. Now I'm back. Punched him right in the mouth. I'm pretty sure that's the guy. Son of a gun. I'm a dad, damn it. I have 2 girls. I could pick at a predator, and so, yeah, that's it. Hi, I'm TJ. 1-800-848-9222. Good morning. Welcome back. 3:37 in the morning here on 77 WABC, TJ McCormack Show. And, yeah, that Citizen app that tells you all the alerts. There was gun violence down at like 29th and 2nd a couple hours ago. So I don't leave the building for that. But I just got that alert that there was a predator, what do you call it? A sex, an offender was 600 feet away, ran out to 3rd Avenue. One guy, I took my chances, popped him right in the mouth, came back inside. All right, so 1-800-848-9222 at 3:38 in the morning here on 77 WABC, TJ McCormack Show. We're bringing you up to 4 o'clock when Fred Rubino joins us, and we will then bring you both right up to Liz Radabali and the 5 a.m. news hour here on WABC for the Sunday morning news. And I think we'll do some of that Father's Day stuff with Fred, because he's a dad and we can relate to that with each other. We'll talk about our daughters and our lives and our wives and all the blessings that we have. And if there's anything that you want to talk about your dad, I think that'd be nice to commiserate for the last hour here on Father's Day morning. What was the best thing your dad ever told you? What was the best advice that you got from your dad? Did you get any advice from your dad? Did you have a dad? Did you have a father growing up? How's your relationship with your father? I'll be totally honest. I wish mine was better. I do. I really, really do. It's not bad. It could be better. And then a good amount of that is on me. It could be better. And it's just one of those things. It's not that it's bad. I mean, don't think I just opened up a can of worms. I didn't. It's a good relationship. I love my father. My father is my biggest fan. And I'm blessed to still have him. He's a pain in the ass, though. Yeah. You heard it is with my father? I'll tell you what it is with my father. And if he was here, if he could hear me, he'd admit it. He started to lose his hearing about 15 years ago. Never did anything about it. And it's like, and now I'm going to see him later today. I'm going to see him later today because it's Father's Day. And by the grace of God, I still have my dad. I still have my mom. But when I'm halfway through, anytime I'm around my dad, you find yourself, and it's like the oldest joke in the book about the dad who's losing his hearing and he's deaf, and it's like, hey, but he's not. He's a Bronx guy, and so he doesn't. He's not like, hey, he's not 115. He's 80, but he's a pain in the ass 80. And anyway, so I'll be. Halfway through this guy, my wife, the girls are there, my mom, my brother, my other brother, we'll be there, so you don't want to be a jerk. But it's really annoying when you're making a point and you're talking about something and they don't hear you. And you know they don't hear you. When there is no visual pop, when there is no, look, I communicate for a living. I used to do stand-up comedy in front of thousands of people. I know when you hear me. Because something will happen when your eyes pop. You know what I mean? Something happens and you get a reaction. When somebody doesn't hear you at all, blank, just blank. Just drives me nuts. And so what happens is when I'm around my dad for an extended period of time and he's not hearing me, all of a sudden, you ever see the Odd Couple movie, The Odd Couple with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon? Oh, Bill, it's the best. I start yelling like Oscar Mattis. I start yelling like Walter Matthau, and I'm like, Dad, did you hear me? I said. I'll say, boy, how about Israel? How about Israel taking out the bad guys? Dad, did you hear what? I was, oh yeah, they that was great. No, you didn't hear me. It wasn't great. No, Israel, they Mossad, they took out the Iranian guys. Don't you hear me, Dad? I'm telling you. One of the best scenes in that movie. They're on the roof at the end of the movie, and Walter Matthau is chasing Jack Lemmon. And he's had it. It's the culmination of the movie. Lemmon pushes him one time too far. I think it was when the Pigeon Sisters, they missed out. He missed out on an evening with the Pigeon Sisters. And so he's chasing him around the roof and he says, and he goes, I want you out. And Felix, Jack Lemmon says to him, he goes, oh, so in other words, you want me out. You want me to leave. And he says, no, Felix, those are the perfect words. I want you out. I want you out here, Felix. That, and of course, the little notes, right? Little notes. Felix, you gotta stop leaving me little notes. I'm paraphrasing. I do know the lines, but forgive me, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember them exactly as I sit here. But Felix, you gotta stop leaving me little notes. I hate little notes on my pillow. Rather cornflakes. F you. Took me 20 minutes to realize that F you was Felix Unger. Okay. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-WABC. And as promised, so let's give you that Rogues Gallery from Iran. And we're actually, you know what, we're going to set this. We're going to actually set this up nicely for you. We're going to give you a little color to this. Hey, Bill, Mr. Music, let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Here is who the Mossad removed from the face of the earth. General Hossein Salami. 65 years old, he was appointed the leader of Iran's elite Revolutionary Guard in 2019. Known for his threatening rhetoric towards Israel in speeches, including a 2016 address in which he claimed there was fertile ground for the annihilation, the wiping out, and the collapse of the Zionist regime. Matt's his biggest fan, Matt in the Bronx. Then there was General Amir Ali Hajizadeh. He was the head of the Revolutionary Guard's missile program. The Israeli military said he was killed when it hit an underground command center where the Revolutionary Guard officials were preparing for an attack on the state of Israel. Goodbye, General Amir Ali Hajizadeh. Oh, they weren't done there, because now the world is short one more person, and that is General Mohammad Baghdadi. He served as the chief of staff of Iran's armed forces and was the country's highest-ranking military official. He oversaw both the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and the country's military. He was also known for his rice pudding. We also said goodbye, sadly, to Lieutenant General Ghulam Ali Rashid, Deputy Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Iran, and also known as a great dancer. And we lost a brainiac, the head of Iran's Islamic Azad University in Tehran. Toodaloo and farewell. Auf Wiedersehen to Mohammed Mehdi Hebranchi. Those are just some of the greatest hits for the Mossad this week in We Gotcha. All right. So let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Mike. We're going to talk to Patty. And yes, Joaquin's been hanging in there for 6 hours. My name is TJ McCormick. This is 77 WABC. They're dead now.
This is 77 WABC Newsroom Extra.
White House officials say that President Trump is reviewing the proposed trade deal with China. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says President Trump is happy with the work his trade team got done.
He spoke to his trade team, who did a fantastic job negotiating this on behalf of the United States and meeting with their Chinese counterparts. The president is talking to them about the details of it now, but what the president heard, he liked.
Leavitt adding that China has agreed to open their markets and supply the U.S. with critical rare earth minerals.
China has agreed to open their markets to the United States separately of this deal, and when it comes to this deal, we're going back to the terms that were agreed upon in Geneva for the release of some of those critical minerals and the magnets from China to the United States, and we have agreed to fully comply with the Geneva Agreement as well.
Leavitt going on to explain that President Trump will have more to say on the deal soon. James Flippin for 77 WABC News.
It's the TJ McCormack Show, keeping you company overnight. 77 WABC.
Dad, it's nothing but the dog in there.
The dog is in this jail.
Huh?
Over here,
The dog, Dad, the dog. Dad, the dog. Forget it. Just forget it, Dad. Dad, forget it. Happy Father's Day. It was something about the dog, nothing but the dog and me. Huh?
Nasty dog.
Yes. 3:49. Good morning. It's Sunday morning, and you're welcome for playing this for you at 3:49 in the morning. My name is TJ McCormick. It's TJ McCormick's show, and Patty really proudly she carried out her mission. Patty, good morning. I love you for doing what you did.
I love you too, TJ. I just got to say, the Mamaroneck Police Department, they did a fabulous crowd control job yesterday.
Yeah. That's great. And so I did see. So tell me about your experience. Did you? I don't remember. Did I see what you were wearing? I don't know if you put it on yourself. Did you wear the hat? The T-shirt.
Yeah, I did. I did wear the T-shirt.
She wore. Oh, by the way,
I had a raincoat on.
For anybody who missed
it, around.
Yeah, for anybody who missed it, by the way, Patty's talking about she wore a T-shirt that she got at the rally for Trump in the Bronx a couple of months ago, about a year ago. So go ahead, love. I'm sorry.
I was there, and it said Trump.
Excellent.
And it had New York State on it.
And so what was that like? So you go out there, and now you said that the Mamaroneck police were great. She went to today was the No King's Day rallies. Patty lives in Mamaroneck in Westchester County, where all the limousine liberals live. And they're out there every other weekend, all the time. And last week they gave, or a couple of weeks ago, they gave her dear 80-something-year-old friend Betty Ann. They gave her some hell. And so yesterday, Patty went out amongst them. She took a video. Go to TJ McCormick on Twitter, and you can see the video that Patty took walking through them. So what was that experience like for anybody who can't see the video?
Well,
the police, a man came and put his flag in my face. He was a little drunk. You could smell his breath. And they got rid of him real quick. Up and down the block, keeping the crowd on the sidewalk. Those people don't let you talk. We had a corner, the Duck Inn, the bar.
Oh, yeah, the Duck Inn, yeah.
They were having a party, and there was a bunch of Trumpers in there. And we all hung out on the corner, and there was about 20 to 30 of us. And we were against, I would say, 1,000 to 2,000 people total the whole time.
Oh, my God.
They all came down to the corner. They surrounded us.
At the bottom of what? At the Mamaroneck and Post Road?
Yeah, we were on the corner where Library Lane, and the whole park ended up down in that area. It was packed. And a lot of people were nice, but we had people come in and run up on us and get in our space. A kid tried to knock my phone out of my hand.
Oh, my God.
I mean, they just didn't want us to talk, but we were 20 to 30. We were small, but we were mighty.
Yeah.
And we just, and it was just fabulous. I had so much fun, but I'm exhausted. I had to set the alarm to make sure I got up to tell you.
Oh, my God, I love you for that. Oh, thank you. And so, but you know what? Isn't it a rush? And don't you feel good? And it feels like you are doing your part. Because you know what? No matter what, Patty, and this is the truth, everybody, and this is another part of the takeaway from all this, because Los Angeles is being Los Angeles. Portland is being Portland. Seattle today broke out in violence. They are absolutely a bunch of miscreants. They are absolutely on the wrong side of history. And Patty and you and your cohorts and us and all of us like-minded people chiming in right now, we're on the right side of this. And let's just, let's not make any small thing out of this. We are so right, and we are so on the right side of history. And again, the people, the rabble that are causing the problems, they're not a small number. They're a large number, but they're insignificant because they will not affect real change. The real change happened in last November when Trump won again, the greatest political comeback.
Right.
And this guy has been en fuego since his inauguration, and just making real change. Border crossings down, crime is on its way down, prices are down, free speech is up. The tariffs are working. And Patty, isn't it a rush to be out there on the right side of history, walking amongst these people who are just so wrong and disagreeable?
Yeah, I had no fear. I felt very confident. And I got to tell you, I did meet some nice people. A big thing with them is immigration. But what I realized and I saw, that protest was all over the place. They had so many different agendas going on. Who's talking about the Twin Towers? Who's talking about Israel? Who's talking about nothing? Wow. You try to tell them, if they talk the immigration's big thing, they go blah, 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 blah. They pull that on me.
Right.
It was just what you see on all over the place. It's the truth.
Yeah.
But there were a good few people. I did have a few good conversations.
And wow, you know what, Patty, I just think it's so cool. And again, everybody, if you want to see the video, she went ahead and did it. I'm so proud. At TJ McCormick on Twitter.
Thank you for encouraging me to do it, because I've been staying in all these Saturdays, and I went out yesterday, and I'm so happy I did.
You're the best. Patty, have a great Sunday. God bless. I really love you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. And with that entree to Father's Day, we will take a Father's Day call because Mike's been hanging in there for way too long. In South Carolina, good morning, Mike. Welcome to TJ McCormick Show. How are you, pal?
Good morning, TJ.
Hey.
And I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'm just playing poker right now with some Looney Kazoonies, so I'm getting secondary high from what they're smoking.
Oh.
Okay, whatever. Rimshot, where's my drum? I got to tell you, I'm listening to WABC radio.
Yes.
TJ, 35 years, okay?
Sure, me too.
And, oh yeah, and I spoke to John Catsimatidis twice.
Great man.
About my father. My father passed away 9 years ago. He was 88. 52 years supermarkets. Manager, district manager, okay? And you brought up the movie The Odd Couple. I was a baseball nut. College baseball, classic games I went to. 69 seasons with the Mets. 1968, when they filmed the movie The Odd Couple, I was 14. I was at that game.
Get out of here. No, stop it. This is like the third time you called.
And I was. And I'll tell you what, that was the first or two times I saw Roberto Clemente, my jaw drop.
That's right. Clemente was in that. They shot a bunch of B-roll because because Felix called and told Oscar. He said, Oscar, I'm just telling you, don't have too many hot dogs at the game because we're having franks and beans for dinner. And at that point, one of the sports writers came up to Oscar and said, hey, Madison, you missed it. You missed it. Triple play. A triple play. And Felix goes, and Oscar says, I'm going to kill you, Felix. I'm going to kill you.
Oh, yeah. And if I could say one other thing.
Yes.
Dominic Carter puts people on the phone, and I was on the phone like you had him on the phone, that nut job from White Plains.
Oh, yeah.
Joaquin. Yeah. And
No. Matt is the. Oh no, Russ. Russ is from White Plains and Joaquin is from Pennsylvania.
I know.
They're the odd couple. Yes.
Yeah, he belongs in the straitjacket, and he's not going to pass off me.
Right.
But I'll tell you what. I'll leave you with this.
Yes, Mike.
Some people will drone on and on.
Yes.
Okay. I have a first cousin. He's good friends with Pete from Staten Island. I grew up in Nassau County. I'm coming up in about a week or so.
Okay.
See some old friends, good for the soul.
Yes.
Pay my respect for mom and dad.
Yes.
Cemetery. And I have a son who went to Cortland. Okay. He was a wide receiver. And he's in law enforcement now, 30 years old. My daughter's 35. She's a middle school teacher in Suffolk County. And two sons. I have two grandsons.
Okay.
So people, give thanks for what you have, and no more whining and complaining like some callers do.
Yeah.
And give thanks. Give thanks for what you have. We only go around once, people.
Right.
And TJ, you got mojo on the radio, comedian, and this and that. You got mojo.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Those are the perfect words. Talk to you later, pal. All right, there we go. Look at that. Nice, fun. You know what? Jim and Nutley. Let's get Jim in here. I got like a minute, and Jim even waiting, but I got like a minute, but I didn't. What's up, buddy? What's on your mind?
Hey, thanks, TJ. This bombing in Iran is kind of great. How come you never played Bomb Iran by Vince Vance?
Bomb Iran. That one. All right, we'll do that. We can do that. We can do that coming out of the next commercial, something like that. And thank you, buddy. Thank you, Jim and Nutley. Jim, you're a Nutley guy. I love Nutley, New Jersey. That's a beautiful. I could live in Nutley, New Jersey. That's a very nice place. You know where I went to, by the way? It's right near Nutley. It was in It's not Bloomfield. Is it Bloomfield? Holston's. Oh wait, what's up? You got the Jersey guy coming in a minute. And he's playing me out. Can two men live together without driving each other crazy? I love that show. Happy and peppy and bursting with love. 3:59 coming up on 4 a.m. Fred Rubino joins us. I'm TJ McCormick. TJ McCormick Show, keeping you company throughout the morning. It's Sunday morning, 77 WABC.
Is New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk radio. WABC New York, WRCR Haverstraw, and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. News first at 59 past the hour. 77 WABC News starts now.
77 WABC News, 60 and cloudy this Sunday, June 15th. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Good morning, I'm Liz Radabali. The Department of Homeland Security is offering $10,000 for any information leading to the arrest of 4 detainees who escaped an ICE detention center in New Jersey. Homeland Security officials put out pictures of the 4, saying they're a public safety threat. The agency is disputing prior reports that there was rioting among the detainees, unhappy with the conditions at the prison. Israel says 3 people have been killed following Iranian missile strikes. Iran launched the missiles responding to a preemptive strike from Israel on different Iranian military and nuclear sites. Following the exchange, Iran signaled they're not interested in continuing negotiations with the United States. President Trump has been pushing for Iran to make a deal on their nuclear program. Early voting is underway in the city. All eyes are on the crowded Democratic primary for the city mayoral election. There's currently 9 candidates hoping to make it to the general. New Yorkers know what they're looking for from a leader.
Just somebody that's fair and that's the right thing.
I think one of the concerns for us is how much rent is, and just making New York more affordable again.
I would like to see a better city. I mean, I would like to see it cleaner, safer.
There's so much corruption. This is Joe.
Early voting runs through next Sunday, the 22nd. The actual primary is on the 24th. There is no primary for the mayor's race on the Republican side, as WABC's very own Curtis Lewa, founder of the Guardian Angels, has already secured his spot in the general election. Incumbent Mayor Eric Adams, meanwhile, is not running as a Democrat, but is seeking re-election as an independent. Autonomous vehicles could lead